Let's assume that in January they have the vaccine. So what? Several millions of people lost their jobs. They want to go back to work. The corporation doesn't exist anymore. There are large corporations that are completely falling apart. For example, uh, Sears was falling before. J.C. Penney has fallen. They are trying to sell the corporation. There are many, many large corporations failing. Macy's probably will fail these weeks. So now, what do you do? Nobody knows what will happen. What we know is that the economic environment will will preclude the political agenda of whoever stays in the power, and it's a very, very tough job that is coming. And it's not about good management. It's just having luck, coming, making people coming back to work and to be productive. And don't worry too much because the U.S. has a history of coming up out of strong shocks. So you don't have to worry. Eventually, the society will find a way to solve this crisis. This it happened in 29. There is another environment, which is the natural environment. And in the environment is a big mess today. This Sunday, LA, which used to have a great weather, was had a 121 degrees. I don't know how many people died from that weather, from that heat. But the true thing is that there are many, many problems in the economies of the world due to the natural disasters, and they are getting worse and worse. So we have growing shortages of raw materials. We have much more pollution now. We have something that is not desirable based on the ideology in the US and in Europe, most of Europe, which is the increased government intervention. We don't like that. We are more towards the liberalism. We accept just the minimal intervention of the government. But now, because of what is going on with the natural resources, we are witnessing governments that are intervening more frequently, and we don't want that. And corporations are trying to develop sustainable, environmental friendly initiatives to balance. But at the end, we are a kind of a virus that populated the planet. And probably this is happening because we are just behaving as viruses. We are not, we should be more friendly towards our host. We are not doing that. So for example, if the level of the sea rises, cities such as New York will not be sustainable anymore, will have to move out, will have to disappear. Many islands in Japan, several of the cities are in danger. Many coastlines, for example, England is an island. London is in danger. If we don't stop this climate change, and some people don't realize that the economic impact to what is going to happen if New York disappears in the US is really bad. It's kind of really a devastating shock, and we don't want that. So that's the reason corporations are trying to come up with these initiatives to be environmental friendly, such a way that we don't have that bad impact in the planet. So now and this is not propaganda. This is the actual thing. Is it is truly bad. And for example, Walmart is trying to. You will find this in your book, is explaining this to you. Walmart is trying to come up with a series of changes in their policies that will have a positive impact in the environment. And yes, it sounds like silly to some of you because you have been, when you come to the university, you are systematically bombarded with this idea that you have to be uh, ecologically friendly. But it's not for free. I mean, it's quite bad. You have you have to do it. Otherwise, probably not you, but your kids will face a completely different planet where probably political forces will have moved, and probably the new superpower in the world is China. I don't think it will be Russia. Probably, probably will be Europe. We don't know. We actually don't know. There are no uh, simulations of that catastrophic scenario. The sad part is that the scenario is already running, so we have to stop it. Now, the technological environment is very interesting. I really like this one because you know what? Everything is changing. Everything is changing. So everything is now electronic. So especially the communication has received a very important boost in its performance, in its possibility to spread out an idea. Of course, there are fake news. We will talk about fake news. Those are funny. If they are not harmful, they are some kind of gossip that might probably be funny. You have to differentiate it. Although you have to differentiate about what is a gossip because the fake news and what is something that is an overreaction of somebody who is well articulated and is sustaining an assertion that he knows is a lie. You have to differentiate both things. When it's a fake news, if it's fake news, you might follow for it. You might believe that, well, probably it's true. When it's the other part that is just overreaction, is just a cynical position where the person is telling you something that clearly this person doesn't believe. Okay? Today, there is a news. I don't know if you like bikes, but well, one of the traditions are Harley Davidson, and they had this rally in South Carolina. Sturgis is the small town, and 360,000 bikes went there. And because they have this set of values in their tribe or in their tribes, they gather together to ride the bikes, and you can see them on the highway. And when they're because part of the image they manage is we are a big bunch of bad guys. We are mean guys. And we like the wildlife. Well, today, if you go to Google News, you will see a news about what happened now. Somebody accounted for the economic impact of this gathering because they are mean people. They say they are mean. You talk to them and they are really friendly. Most of them, they are nice people. But well, it is kind of disguise, an alter ego, if you will, that they like to live in their weekends or whenever they get into the bike, they went there. They didn't use cover. They went back 360,000 motorcycles went back to their towns. They brought the disease. They brought the coronavirus. Today, there is an estimation that the health, the financial burden because of the health trouble they are provoking, they will provoke after their Storgis gathering will cost the US government 12 billion just because they wanted to get together without any coverings. And we now know that because thanks to the technology, they could figure out where they went, how the spread is going to impact all the populations. And now in a very fast way, they could tell you, I don't have to gather the data is there. I could figure out even at budget level how much money now the government has to invest because that Storgis gathering. So these are exciting times. You can get the information that you want, and you eventually will be able to figure out important insertions. Now, the political environment is composed of laws, government agencies, that means government, different governments, local, state, and federal governments. 3 levels of government, okay? There is no only one level of government. It's the county government, state government, federal government. The laws, all the legislation, plus the pressure groups that makes up your political environment. And when you are in a corporation, you want to agree with them, okay? And that's the reason of the mission. I didn't tell you. Once you establish your mission, immediately, it is the recommendation of Porter, the former dean of the Harvard Business School. Immediately state your values. And based on your values, now try to make the conciliation, to reconcile your values with the political environment in such a way that you can engage in your economic activity without any problem. Now, why the laws? The legislation is the process. Okay, you have the Congress and you have the Senate. The Congress represents all the population, and the Senate will represent just states, the population of one state, whereas the Congress will have representatives from the electoral districts. So there are 400 something congressmen, congresswomen, and as many, I don't remember how many, 100 senators. I don't remember the numbers. But normally the people will communicate to her representative an idea. And probably that representative will say, well, you are right, smoking is bad. So why about if we come up with a legislation, with a law? So they will produce, the representative will write down a proposal of a law and will propose it to the Congress. Probably the Congress, after several small processes, they will vote a law against tobacco in public places. And once that is approved by the Congress, it goes to the Senate, and in the Senate it's discussed. And when after the discussions are over, they say, well, yes, we agree. Let's issue this law. So they make some modification to the law, modifications, and they come up with a law. But that law is not valid yet. That law now goes to the president of the country, and he's the only capable of writing the, you know, the promulgation of the law. When he promulgates the law, so the law, that law is part of the legislation, of the laws of the land. So you have to abide by it. That is how it happens. So why do we have laws for the corporations? Well, the laws in the corporations are meant to protect the companies, to protect the consumers, and protect the general interest of the society. That's the reason of the laws. Okay, so just remember there is a political, social, cultural environment that will affect whatever economic activity you are engaged in. Now, the book has this example. Just read examples of the Ben and Jerry's. And they use the mission to try to accommodate the political and social environment. So try to do it through your mission or through the statement of your values in such a way that you agree with whatever the legislation, the political environment is in your place. So you will eventually in the university hear some monstrosities that happened due to some corporations didn't align their values to the political environment. So you will find examples of human experimentation, of corporations poisoning big chunks of the population because it was convenient for them. Okay, why do we want? There is also a cultural environment. Why do we want to have our mission statement, our values aligned to the political and socioeconomic and also the cultural environment? The cultural environment just referred to those forces and institutions that shape the values, the perceptions, and the behaviors of the people, of the population. Churches enter here, for example. All those ethical places that you visit where you have ethical rules enter here. Your beliefs about what a family is they enter here. Why do you want to have your mission and your set of values aligned to those environments? Because it's going to be more profitable. That's the sad reality. They will give you money. They will make your corporation profitable in such a way that your investment project is feasible. And so you can bring investors and you can fulfill your economic end, your economic goal. Just thinking about the financial goals is wrong. Yes, it's wrong. Because corporations also fulfill some societal goals. They bring a workplace, they bring jobs to wherever they are established. So there is a exchange, a positive exchange of society and corporations. And it's not only money. But if you don't make your set of values, your mission with those environments, you will fail. That's very straightforward to understand. So in this example of the book, they are bringing, they are telling, you know what, our underwear for females will be shown through models, and we will not look anymore at the shape of the body. I mean, however you are, you will be a potential model for our designs, and you will be seen in our ads, and that's very evolved, a very positive evolution of the marketing efforts, because this stereotype of the slim woman in the 50s, they were a little bit wider, and it's about the fashion, how somebody imagines how a woman should be, which is wrong, because we shouldn't stereotype anybody. Since the strictly speaking point of view of business, you can tell, well, that's a nice principle for your own life. But what about for your business? Well, for your business as well. Because if you are going to become, you are becoming the corporation of the slim guys. That's that's pretty twisted. You should be, you should bring marketing offerings to everybody, regardless their looks. Now, there are uh, core beliefs and secondary beliefs. The core beliefs is what you actually are. They were given to you by your parents. You have this set of beliefs strongly embedded in your mind that will change very slowly through life after you get uh, good experiences, learning new things. But today, you are a summary of who your parents, grandparents, and their ancestors were. You are the summary of the thought of your family for many generations. And now, there are different views. You have views of yourselves, you have views of others, you have views of organizations. For example, the university, you have a top of mind idea of what this university is. You have views of your society. If you think about, just this is a good exercise. Try to think about what your views are about others, about a bar in Laramie, about the society, today's, your life in your today's society, which probably is comprised of classmates, your views of the nature. When I came here, I was pretty scared, and I will tell you why. I didn't see trees, and that gave me a lot of stress. I thought, well, why there are no trees here? If you see just in Laramie, there are few trees. You go outside of Laramie, of course, there are some specific places, but you take the 287 towards north, there are no trees. You go to Casper, many places are kind of without trees. So I was pretty scared because I thought, oh, well, this is not a desert, but it's kind of a desert. So I became paranoid for a couple of days. There, I found out that there are 150 nuclear silos in the area of Cheyenne, for bombs, for the missiles. And well, I'm a foreigner, and in my country, there are not such things. And I thought, well, they are in the subsoil, and they have to cool the engines. Where does that water goes? And like for 2 days, I was paranoid. Oh, I'm drinking polluted urea, nuclear fissionable material, polluted water. Somebody told me, you know what? Get alive. Stop thinking about things. Everything is under control. And we don't know if they are actually 150. And we only know that there is a military station here in Cheyenne, and they are very secretive about what they are doing. But for sure, they are not doing anything bad for us. So I stopped worrying about it. But well, my view of nature was a different view. Now, let me move very fast to chapter 4. Chapter 4. The quiz is coming from that chapter, and there is a reason. I told you in the beginning, we guess everything. Remember that? I told you that there is no such thing as a completely true assertion in management, because essentially we guess things. And if you think about it, we most of the time, if not all the time, we use statistics. And because we use statistics, there is always a, the probability of making a mistake. That means when you are making an assertion, that same assertion might be false. And that's the reason we are essentially guessing. There are very few laws in management, but mainly it's about how we make assumptions. And we rely a lot on statistics in such a way that the statistical inferences we make, at least we come up with an assertion that is based on statistical inferences. Does that mean that we can't do anything? No, no. On the contrary, we can do a lot of stuff, like kind of a lot of stuff, with just knowing few things about a phenomenon. Let me start very fast with the chapter. This chapter. One moment, please. If you want to learn something from this class, try to learn chapter 4, because regardless where you are, you need to know it. Really, you need to know it. So is this one? No. The political? No. Is this one? Yes. Should be right. You can see it. Can you see? Can you see it, guys? Is somebody there?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Chapter 4. We will talk about marketing insights. A good example is Procter. Procter has these large marketing offerings, large number of marketing offerings, and they have to figure out if you like them or not. So in the picture, for example, you have Allspice, one of the last acquisitions from Procter & Gamble. Allspice, if you switch it, you just see the side behind this face of the deodorant, you will find a sentence saying, if your grandfather didn't wear it, if your grandfather hadn't worn it, you wouldn't have been born. And it's because Allspice is meant for a specific public. Most of the products will be focused on a specific segment, on a specific populations. So you don't have to guess uh, what are you going to do with your product. You have this product, you just produce something, you just produce a pen, and this pen is kind of old-fashioned pen. So it's going to be sold to whom? I know how to produce it, but now to whom should I sell it? And that's the reason of marketing research. In marketing research, you go and talk to your customers. Can you go really willing to talk to your customers? You can, but you have to do it in a rational, academic way. If you don't do the proper walkthrough of the customer, whatever you find might well be very wrong. And you could lose all your money, all your investments. So let's start from the beginning. You need customer insights. The customer insights will help you to figure out the needs and the wants of your customer base. And given that, you may produce, you may make the calculations of the demand. So why you want to do that? Because if you are the first to figure out that somebody wants the cover of a camera that opens and closes from the sides, if you are the first and you have the capabilities to produce it, you launch your new strategic business units dedicated to these covers. And you will have the first mover advantage in that market. And when you have the first mover advantage, that market, most of the time, you will survive. Most of the time. Although there is research that shows that not necessarily the first that went into an industry will prevail. Normally it's the second one, because with the second one, if the second corporation has the capabilities, they observe you very carefully. They are living in the next door. They can hear you in the world through marketing research. The customers will tell them what you are doing wrong. And if they have the capabilities, they will come up with a marketing offering that will be better than yours. And research shows that those guys are the most successful. The second ones, not the first one. But in the book, and traditionally, marketing is taught that if you have the first mover advantage, you define the market. And that's true. Probably the second one will be more successful than you in 20 years. But today, because you went the first one, you will define how the market goes, what the market rules are, and you will accommodate things at your convenience. So the only way to figure out what can you produce in such a way that you become financially successful and your corporation becomes feasible as an investment project is only through marketing research. And to do that, you need customer insight teams. So you have your company, and now somebody has to go to the market to talk to customers. So you organize your customer insights teams, and either you outsource that work to a marketing research agency, an external agency, or you do it in-house. And some large corporations have a mix. They produce some parts, they give some parts to outside, to outsource, to an outsource, corporations such as Ipsos, such as marketing strategies, and some of the work is made in-house with their own customer insights teams. Now, today, you have to have somebody inside of your team doing big data analysis. You know, is somebody told me now it's very expensive. I don't believe so. But a few months ago, you were able to, with Python, to download into Excel all the tweets or the Facebook comments on some topics. For example, you can do it now, but somebody told me it's not free anymore. You have to pay for specific services. But you can do this analysis with marketing is interesting. Those words. So let's see who tweeted those words in the last month. And you can, through Python and through an application, an app that you download from Twitter, you can download all the comments into a spreadsheet, into Excel. And now you say, well, now I have to run the analysis of what was said in that data set. So probably you will have 60,000, 80,000 comments using those words during the last month in Twitter. And those, when you run the analysis, the text analysis, you cluster words into similar groups in such a way that you can see in a spatial map all the constructs that were surrounding those two words or that phrase. Is very interesting. And based on the constructs, you can come up with something. For example, marketing is very interesting. And suddenly, probably the construct entertainment through Netflix, to say something, comes up near those two words. So what is your next move? Go to Netflix. And if you want to promote marketing, is an interesting thing. Go to Netflix and purchase an ad. You will be close to their construct. So you will put together both constructs. But this thing is so dynamic that one external shock could change everything. This is the part that is interesting. That's the reason in marketing you have to keep reading the news daily, because external shocks are coming into you. For example, if you are a Harley Davidson investor and you know that your brand is spreading death in the US, that to me sounds like an interesting ad for the Yamaha motorcycles or the Honda motorcycles, the big one, the heavy ones. Well, if I have an investment in Harley Davidson, probably I will move it. Probably I will be for aluminum, or probably for, I don't know, not for coal for sure, but probably for this IPO that is based on Amazon business or something else. Goals, if you want. Goals is surviving well these days, or Target is doing very well these days. To me, it's amazing. Or Walmart. So you move your investment from Harley Davidson and you plunge the money now in Walmart, just because you don't know how Honda, the division of heavy bikes from Honda, will exploit that advantage that they found through ads, through the news. Now, one moment. So You have to come up with something. And I'm about to close the class. The market information system is the people, is the procedures that will compose what your internal marketing research agency is in your company. And those guys will have the large data sets to analyze and to tell the management, you know what? It is time for us to stop producing erasers because we are seeing that people are stopping writing with pencils. And now this is becoming a dog. And actually, if you review our sales, historical sales, we absolutely are sure the market is not growing back. And our market participation is slow. We enter into that industry very late. So we have this dog. So divest on it, get rid of it. And that market information systems is what will help the organization take decisions. You don't nilly-willy because your auntie told you to open this restaurant. You just open it. No, you have to have information from the market. Very fast, very, very fast. I went to Chili's. Here, got sick. I called him. Hey, buddy, I think your chicken has a bacteria. So I'm telling you because there are many old people living around in this area in Laramie. There are many people 70 or more. So you might probably want to review your fridge because I'm pretty sure you have a bacteria there. When I told this to the guys, the manager was a girl, and she told me, whatever. Yeah, whatever. And she didn't pay attention, even attention. So I was honestly worried. I didn't want money. I was honestly worried. So I look for, it's very straightforward to look for the actual manager, and I called him and I told him, hey buddy, there is something in your fridge. You may poison somebody. So try to take a look at it. And he said, oh, well, yeah, I don't know. Because I put the manager on, I don't know. So I wrote a complaint. It was the treatment was the wrong treatment. So I wrote a complaint to the corporation. It takes you 6 minutes. And because they have this market information system in Chili's in the corporation, one of the market managers got my complaint. It was a short sentence. In 3 hours, everything was solved. And I even received some coupons. I was happy. Free meal. But this is to tell you, the market is moving so fast that if you don't have this market managing market information, these marketing information systems, you may fail. You may fail. We will stop here. I'm sorry, it took more time that I was supposed to go further, but because the doubts, I became more late in the class. Do you have any question? Any question for whatever? Remember, I'm available online, and you can throw me an email, or if you want to talk directly in Zoom, I'm available. Just let me know. Do you have any question? No questions?
Question.
Okay, so see you next class. Remember, chapter only this time, chapter 1 and 2, the homeworks. I will put them available now, and at 11:59 today, I will take them away. Okay, for those guys who came so late to class. Okay, don't worry. I will not take away points from that. but just don't do it. And now please engage in the class. The materials are good. Thank you guys very much. So see you next class.
Professor, I've got a
Thank
question.
you.
Sure, tell me.
So you were mentioning how Macy's during this quarantine is probably not going to do too well. Do you see places like Walmart that offers like a one-stop shop for groceries and other merchandise to like excel in this kind of climate?
The thing is that Amazon opened it in 95. By 98, in 97, the director of marketing in Barnes and Noble told the CEO, we have to move towards the same strategy as Amazon. And the CEO said, well, you are crazy. I have no time for your silly games. I will not do it. We are a brick and mortar business. In 1999, Amazon surpassed Barnes and Noble in sales of books. And that was a very strong shock towards all the industries. You have to convert into the digital world. And so, but how can you compete with Amazon? Amazon is so strong. But you know what? Traditionally, for the last 20 years, Walmart has been the biggest. Traditionally, just in the last years, Amazon became very strong and surpassed Walmart in sales. But traditionally, it is Walmart, the big business. They were born in Arkansas, and the initial strategy is funny. It was the store for the Americans. American people serving American people. It was kind of that the strategy, and that was part of its success. Now, Walmart, because it's a large, huge brick and mortar business, they cannot abandon their warehouses just like that, because their warehouses are their stores. So, but how can you convert into digital? Well, that's the reason they just launched the new $120 a card where you will have some benefits, and they will probably, based on the purchases you make, they will deliver to your house. And like 6 months ago, they started this window where you just go and pick your things up. And probably you didn't do it. I didn't do it. But if you were one of the first customers using that service that go up, pick it up in the window, they would give you, if you purchase 2 pounds of apples, they would give you 3 pounds. And they would tell you, you know what? This is a gift for you. Those who are not moving, I'm telling you because of this, those who are not doing something to produce more value to their customers, or they are not moving towards a digital world, they might probably fail. They might probably fail miserably. There is a good example. I like, because I had an accident doing some hiking. I fell from the mountain in Mexico. I was had 6 months in bed. I'm very particular with the shoes because they bother me. I like Echo. ECCO is the brand. There are many imitations, but if you go to us.ecco.com, that's a brand that is about, they are Danish, and they are located in Europe, and they sell shoes here in America. Their website really sucks. So you wonder how they are going to be successful. They are good shoes. I bet that most of you don't know them because these wrong strategies. Many European corporations do that. So that's a very nice, we will talk about more about the digital world in this class, a lot more. There is no other option. We have to convert to that.
So
Yes, yes.
I used to sell orthopedic footwear. I used to work for a company called The Walking Company, and they sell the Echo brand. So I think Echo actually does a lot of like consignments with other stores. That way they can get their product on the shelf.
Yeah, yeah, and not only them. Many corporations, European corporations with good brands, they do the same thing. They don't have to. They have the power of. They have several factories. They own their production systems. They don't have to go through the middleman. That's very old. That's of the 20s, 30s, 100 years ago. They can retail directly, but they make a lot of mistakes. So, for example, Zappos. If you were working for a walking company, Zappos, a competitor. The problem with Zappos is that they don't update very frequently when they deliver to you something, the UPS or FedEx tracking number. So you are always in the limbo. There is their administration of their warehouses good? I bet they are. Is good. But the problem is that lack of communication with the customer creates uncertainty in the customer. And if you have a good market information system, it doesn't happen. Watch out, because some people, like Amazon, now they are outsourcing their market information system. For example, in Amazon, you call them because you bought something and you want to talk to a customer representative, you will be transferred to India. And those guys in India don't have that customer service culture, customer satisfaction culture, and it's becoming for many people very frustrating. So Amazon is creating a lot of business opportunities for many people, for small businesses, because this customer satisfaction management is wrong. They shouldn't outsource the part of their market information system to India. They shouldn't. So guys, we have to stop here because it's too late. I apologize because I'm taking more time. I will see you next class. And remember, those guys who didn't did a chapter 1 and 2, just please work on it. See you next class. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Professor.